There's a stunning allegation of former U.S. Army sergeant expected to appear in court today, accused of hatching a plan to kill an American drug agent in Africa. Prosecutors accuse him of being a contract killer and say he enlisted other former soldiers to help.
Federal prosecutors say Joseph Hunter, a former U.S. Army sniper, has spent the past 8 years out of the military arranging for murders. He was arrested Friday in Thailand, accused of hiring a team to kill a DEA agent in Africa.
The bone-chilling allegations in today's indictment read like they were ripped from the pages of a Tom Clancy novel.
They called murders for hire bonus work and said they'd need a total of $800,000.
These professional killers develop plans to use automatic weapons, silencers, masks, detailed escape routes, and cover stories to make their murders look like random violence on the streets. To be clear, DEA investigations have shown that Hezbollah is laundering drug money through these financial institutions. In the view and the opinions of members of the Counter-Narco-Terrorism Operations Center, Hezbollah is operating like a major drug cartel, and we're going to actively investigate them.
That was a superlative work. First, let me congratulate the DEA on your operation there against the merchant of death, as he was known in Africa, this Victor Boot, the international arms trafficker. And I wanted to ask you, how concerned are you about the possibility of this terrorist cartel nexus?
Well, sir, I'm very concerned. I have 3 children, and like all of us, we're looking out for the best interest of the United States. Mexican drug cartels are extremely violent. There's been over 40,000 folks killed in Mexico since 2006. I remain very concerned. We've seen the growing nexus between these Middle Eastern terrorist organizations and different criminal organizations around the world. Really, we have seen increases of cocaine flowing out of South America into West Africa for distribution in Europe and the Middle East. So we're very concerned about that drug flow. We've had some significant success, as you may know, in Liberia and Ghana on some joint cases. We actually had the president of Liberia's son doing undercover work for the DEA in a joint operation when Colombian traffickers were trying to corrupt officials in Liberia to stash cocaine in the multi-ton quantities. We can't investigate terrorism in a cocoon.
This hearing will come to order. This is on attacking Hezbollah's financial network, and these global terrorists double as global criminals.
At this point in this country's history, we don't need any more Inspector General reports talking about lack of information sharing. We need some accountability on the people that aren't sharing.
The Situation Room with Walt Blitzer.
Nondescript used car dealerships and export companies in the U.S. Maybe not the first places you'd look for connections to terrorism. 30 American companies are avenues for hundreds of millions of dollars funneled to Hezbollah. Derek Maltz is a DEA special agent who helped coordinate an investigation going back about 6 years. It was all part of a drug and money laundering network U.S. officials say was spearheaded by a Lebanese national named Ayman Juma, now under indictment in America. The new complaint seeks forfeiture of more than $480 million, including all the assets from the U.S.-based companies.
In the blood-soaked world of international drug cartels, for the top cops of U.S. law enforcement, Joaquin Guzman was public enemy number 1. He earned that status by putting more narcotics on American streets than anyone in history. After the death of Osama bin Laden, El Chapo became the most wanted man in the world.
Very sophisticated with narco subs, with shipping vessels, with 747s, with private vessels, with tractor trailers, rail cars. The drug cartel was run like a Fortune 500 company.
What was different this time?
The U.S. government and the Mexican government basically said enough is enough. And we actually, rolled up our sleeves, got in a room, argued a little bit, put all the intelligence on the table, shared it with the Mexicans, and ultimately grabbed Chapo.
And now Fox News is getting a closer look at the Drug Enforcement Administration's war room, where the officials are coordinating these raids. Our senior national correspondent, John Roberts, live in Northern Virginia with more on this. John.
Good evening, Shep. It was an unprecedented opportunity that we had earlier on today, and one that no other television organization has ever had in the past, and that was to be inside the DEA Special Operations Division, inside, as you said, that war room as they were conducting an ongoing operation. But here's the special agent in charge, Derek Maltz of the DEA.
We have a message for the Mexican cartels. We are going to come after you. We're going to have a relentless attack. We are going to attack your organizational structure from top to bottom, and we're going to continue, like I said, until it's done.
That's right. They were yanked from the streets of Europe and Asia and brought here to the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan to face justice American style. Suspected money men for Hezbollah and the Taliban busted in a global narco-terror takedown. Federal prosecutors in New York City announcing the results of a globe-hopping undercover sting operation. 4 men now accused of plotting to sell heroin on the streets of the United States to buy weapons for the Taliban, allied with Al-Qaeda, and Hezbollah.
We unsealed 2 indictments that provide fresh evidence of what many of us have been seeing for some time: the growing nexus between drug trafficking and terrorism.
2 defendants were arrested in Romania. Prosecutors say the weapons deal involved 48 Stinger surface-to-air missiles, 5,000 AK-47 rifles, 1,000 M4 rifles, and 1,000 Glock handguns.
At the end of the day, we're all fighting for one reason: to keep the poison out of the hands of the children.